What's going on, my broskies? My name is Toadski and I'm back again, here to bring you guys yet another One Piece Treasure Cruise video. And today we're going to be going through yet another top 5 video, which is a weekly series where I break down the top 5 units in a specific category within the global version of One Piece Treasure Cruise. And in today's video, we're going to be going ahead and breaking down the story mode units that you can farm for that are the best for completing the game within One Piece Treasure Cruise. Now, obviously, this is all opinionated, so these are all my opinions. If you guys don't agree with my opinion, make sure to leave your opinion of the top 5 story units down below in the comments section. And also, guys, if you guys do go on to enjoy today's video, make sure to smack the like button down below, because these videos take quite a long time to edit together, and it would be greatly appreciated if you guys could leave a like down below. Would be greatly appreciated. But without further ado, guys, let's get straight into the video. So coming in at the number 5 spot, we have Bellamy the Hyena, which can be farmed for on the last stage of the Jaya story mode. So here we have Bellamy. Now Bellamy is number 5 spot, where he can boost the attack and HP of Dex characters by 1.5 times as his captain effect, which overall isn't really that great. His special ability, which starts at 14 turns and maxes at 9 turns, will amplify the effects of orbs by 1.5 for a single turn. Now overall, that is just great. To amplify orbs is just amazing. You know, we don't have a whole lot of units that you can actually farm for in story mode that amplify orb effects, and I actually looked it up. In the global version of One Piece Treasure Cruise, there's only 3 units in story mode that you can farm for that will boost orb effectiveness, and Bellamy is the only one that times this by 1.5. So this guy is actually really good. However, you know, there are other units that you can farm for in Fortnite and stuff like that that are a little bit better. But regarding the story mode, Bellamy is actually a pretty solid unit. And he's also got 2 socket spots as well, meaning that you can actually put 2 different sockets on him, and it will overall just improve your team in whatever team he's going to be used in. Now, why is Bellamy here at the number 5 spot? So as I said, he's the only 1.5 times orb booster available in story mode. So definitely, if you guys don't have an orb booster that's 1.5 at least, you have to try and get Bellamy. He's very strong. And also, just because his cooldown maxes out at 9 turns, that is just phenomenal. It's really good. It's just so accessible. So having him at 9 turns, and especially, you know, because he's under 20 cost, you can use him on a Sengoku team as well, which then will lower it down by 4 more turns of cooldown, which is just overall really good. And he fits really nicely on a Dex team, which is really strong, or a fighter team, because he is also a fighter. However, you know, there are other units in Dex teams that will basically replace Bellamy, being obviously Doflamingo. Doflamingo is so much better. However, if you guys are, you know, do not have these units, then Bellamy would be a very nice fit for your team. So that is why he is at the number 5 spot. Just beating Bellamy, we have Miss Doublefinger, who can be found within one of the stages of Elvina. And Miss Doublefinger is so good. She's a 4-star unit, a Dex striker, and she's also a knowledge unit, which is one of the new subtypes that are getting released in global very soon. And she has 2 socket spots as well, which is really good. Now, her captain effect isn't really what she is on this list for, where she'll boost the HP of strikers by 2 times. Not a very good captain effect. However, her special ability, which maxes 8 turns starting at 15, will boost attack of Dex characters by 1.5 for a single turn. This is really good. So overall, if you can combine Bellamy and Miss Doublefinger on a Dex team for awesome damage output. However, why is Miss Doublefinger on this list? Why is she higher than Bellamy? Because she's pretty much essential for Dex burst teams. She gives Dex teams so much more damage output, and there are so many good Dex units for Miss Doublefinger to give that boost to. You know, there's Doflamingo, who has like 1500 attack at max. There's Law, who has like 1300 and something. The overall, Dex units are actually pretty powerful units within One Piece Treasure Cruise. And having a unit like Miss Doublefinger to then boost them by 1.5 for a single turn is very strong. Similar to Bellamy, her cooldown is very low at max. You know, 8 turns at max is very good. And also, she's just so good for taking down Enel or Eneru, the 60 stamina raid boss, which a lot of players have trouble with. So having Miss Doublefinger can just help you in assisting in, you know, trying to take down that 60 stamina raid boss, which overall is one of the most difficult raid bosses within One Piece Treasure Cruise. So definitely having Miss Doublefinger is so good in order to beat some specific dungeons within this game. Moving on to the number 3 spot, we have Iron Mace Elvina. So, Elvina is kind of interesting because she's actually the first boss you ever come across within One Piece Treasure Cruise. She's on stage 3, the final stage of Elvina's raid boss, Elvina's hideout, I think it is, on the story mode. So, Elvina is very, very interesting. So, she is a strength striker, and she's also a free spirit character. And she has only one socket spot. Now, she is on this list, however, she does have a fortnight that you can farm her for as well. However, she is still available within the story mode, so technically she does still make this list. So, her captain effect is not really why she's here. It's mainly because of her special, where it starts at 15 turns, maxes at 9 turns, where it reduces damage received by 80% for a single turn. This is so, so good. Getting that damage reduction by 80% for a single turn is quintessential for clearing some specific zero stamina isles, which it really depends on your team, because not all teams that run the zero stamina isles will use Elvina. However, if you guys do need that damage reduction, it's definitely like such a good unit. It just helps you like survive pretty much nearly every hit. And not only that, you can use her against raid bosses as well to withstand hits and then deal damage back and try and take them down in the following turn. And also, she's a 4-star unit, and she has like just about 1,000 attack. She has 999 attack as a 4-star unit. That is very powerful. And also, you know, can be used on a Sengoku team as well. So, overall, Iron Mace Elvina, very, very solid unit, and that is why she's number 3 on this list. She's just so good in clearing and helping just take damage from raid bosses, take damage from the zero stamina isles, which are very, very difficult dungeons within the game. So that is why she's number 3 on the top 5 list. So for number 2 on this list, I've kind of cheated a little bit. I've put in the Rob Lucci Leopard form, which will be available once the next story isle comes out, the Enies Lobby Part 2 story. And you can basically evolve the 3-star Lucci that you've dropped previously into this 4-star Lucci. However, if you've already evolved your Lucci from story mode into the 4-star version, you cannot then evolve that one into this Rob Lucci. So you have to choose which evolution you want. Now, when this new story isle comes out, you'll be able to evolve it into this Lucci here, and this Lucci is very, very good. So let's overview this unit real quick. Here we have Lucci, the Cat Fruit Eater, and he is a 4-star unit, and he's a quick fighter tough unit, and tough is one of the new subtypes coming into the game. And he has 3 socket spots, and this unit is socketable because there is a Lucci Fortnite dungeon which you can use to socket this specific Lucci. That, overall, just that in general is very, very good. To have a unit with 3 socket spots, they're farmable, very easy to do. Now, the captain effect of this Lucci will boost the attack of fighter characters by 2.75 times if your HP is below 30% at the start of the turn. So overall, he's kind of like a Whitebeard type of unit, where you're below 30%, you get a huge boost to a specific type of unit, and in this case, it is fighter type unit. So if you're below 30%, nice boost to your fighter characters. Now, his special ability starts at 18 turns, and there is no skill books out just yet for this Rob Lucci, so we don't have any clue as to what he will max out at. However, it changes recovery orbs into quick orbs, and then changes the adjacent orbs on your team into quick orbs as well. This is really, really strong. Great quick orb manipulation, just basically producing quick orbs out of nothing on your team, and then you can use an orb switcher or something like that to basically arrange them in how you like, and basically output a lot of damage against a strength boss, which is very, very powerful. So why is Rob Lucci number 2 on this list? Why is he so good? As I said before, his Whitebeard-like captain effect is very, very strong. So if you really wanted to run a really strong fighter team, you can run, you know, the Moby Dick ship, which is the Whitebeard ship, along with, you know, just really strong fighter type characters, which would be really nice. He also has a special that just basically imports quick orbs onto your team out of nothing. So, as I said before, really good against strength raid bosses, very, very powerful. And also, one thing about Rob Lucci here, about this specific Rob Lucci, he has 20 cost. Now, that is really good. Obviously, Sengoku teams, they use, you know, units that are 20 cost or lower. Not only that, he has 1,302 attack at max level. What the heck? As a 4-star unit, 1,300 attack, what the hell? That is super powerful. 1,300 attack with a very overpowered special, not really overpowered special, but a very, very strong special is amazing. This is just so good. Definitely a very, very strong unit in the story mode to farm. Very good. As I said, also, just because he's got 3 socket spots as well, like, that just makes the unit all that much better. So that is why Rob Lucci, the Cat Fruit Leopard form, is number 2 on my top 5 list. And now we move on to the number 1 spot, which is Usopp Impact. Now, Usopp here is super good. Number 1 on the list because I think we would all know why Usopp would be number 1 on the list. He is a 4-star unit, a Psy shooter type character with 2 socket spots, so 2 socket spots, very good. He boosts attack of Psy characters by 1.5 times as a captain effect. You don't really use him as a captain, however his special ability, which starts at 17 and maxes at 12, will boost the attack of Psy characters by 2 times for a single turn. Wow, that is just amazing. 2 times attack for Psy units for 1 turn, and it maxes at 12 turns, so that is a pretty low cooldown for such a very good special. Now, why is he good? Well, we just went through a little bit of that. He's a farmable Robin-like unit, so the 2 times attack for 1 turn, it's insane. And as I said on the page here, it is a must-get. It is a must-have unit. If you have really good Psy units, like namely Garp, Marker, etc., this guy is essential. He's so good. And as I say for the second dot point, he synergizes well with Black-Clad Shanks, Marco, Garp, and even Sengoku Tins, because Sengoku himself is a Psy unit, so you can run just like really low-cost Psy units and then have this guy. It's just super good. It's amazing the amount of damage output you can get. He's better than the Psy story mode Eneru, so a lot of people really like the Eneru from story mode, and they say that he's really good. However, people don't realize that Usopp Impact, he gives 2 times attack for a single turn to Psy units, whereas the Eneru gives 1.5 times boost. So a lot of people don't realize that Impact Usopp is so much better. However, you know, the Eneru does have better stats than this Usopp. Usopp overall will give you more damage output with his special, giving 2 times attack to Psy units. And he's easily socketable as well because there's so many fortnights or dungeons with Usopp in them. Especially when Heracles comes out, when Heracles raid boss comes out, along with that there is an Usopp Isle that comes out along with Heracles, and that will just allow you to basically farm for Usopp sockets very easily. So that is why Usopp here is the number 1 man on the top 5 spot. So that is going to conclude yet another top 5 video, and if you guys have any different categories that you would like me to do a top 5 on, make sure to leave your suggestions in the comment section down below, and I'll have a look at them and maybe consider a couple of them for making videos for top 5 later on down the track. But anyways guys, I hope you guys have enjoyed today's video, and if you guys have enjoyed it, make sure to smack that like button down below. And if you want to stay up to date with all the content that I post on my channel, including more One Piece Treasure Cruise content, then make sure to hit the subscribe button down below. But other than that guys, I will see you guys within the next video.